Welcome back. We have our chocolate brioche dough in the fridge, chilling for 12 to 15 hours so that it's ready to go for tomorrow. We are now going to be making chocolate pastry cream for our brioche. We are going to try to do as much prep work today so that tomorrow we can just put all the ingredients together and bake it and be able to enjoy it. So again, I have our mise en place ready here. I have whole milk, heavy cream, egg yolks, I have sugar, cornstarch, salt, butter, and I also have high quality chocolate. This one that I'm using today is going to be a Callebaut chocolate, which is 54.5%. You can go with a milk chocolate or even a darker chocolate if you would like, but I would use high quality chocolate for this. I would use, if you don't have Callebaut or Valrhona, I would use something like from the grocery store, like Guittard or something along the lines of that. Please don't use cheap chocolate in this. It's not going to be a delicious pastry cream. So we're going to start by heating up our stove to a medium degrees or medium heat, and we're going to be lightly boiling our milk and heavy cream together. While that is coming up to temperature, we are going to mix our dry ingredients in the bowl, and we're going to add our egg yolks to that and mix it all together. This is going to be the base of our pastry cream. This is what's going to give it the really nice, thick, custardy consistency. And basically what we're going to be doing here is we're just combining the cornstarch with the sugar so that when we add our egg yolks, it doesn't clump up and it's nicely spread out. Okay, add your egg yolks in, and we're just gonna whisk it until ribbon stage. Making a bit of a mess here, but so first it's going to be thick, but it's going to come really nicely together. Gives you a bit of a workout only on one arm though. That's good. So while your milk and cream are heating, we're just going to whisk this together. Pastry cream is also very versatile in the pastry world. Once you understand the basics of it, you can flavor it any way you'd like. If you want to just a plain pastry cream, you would omit the chocolate. I would add some vanilla bean to this, but since we're making chocolate brioche dough, we're going to use chocolate pastry cream here. To check to see if you're at ribbon stage, lift this up and you'll see like you've got a nice thin ribbon, but we're not quite there yet. It's kind of thick. Once the milk and the cream are heated up, they should be just about to boiling, scalding milk, and we're going to temper the milk into our egg yolk mixture. So you can see now it's coming down thinner ribbon. Basically, when your arm is tired, that's kind of how you know you're done. There we go. All right, let's check on the milk and the heavy cream. I'm gonna turn this up a little bit. My stove is kind of funky. It goes really fast. It takes a little while for it to warm up, but then once it warms up, it starts to burn everything. So I have to be very careful and check on my cooking process here. But basically you're looking for your milk to come to a scald and to be just about boiling. Okay, our milk is scalding hot over here. It's not quite to a boil, but we don't want a full rumbling boil anyway. So I'm just gonna let it go for another few seconds. Check on our eggs, our egg yolks over here. That looks beautiful. And this yellow color of the egg yolks is just gorgeous. We have our own chickens, so we use fresh eggs every day. And when you use eggs from your local chickens, like your backyard, they're very, very deep, rich yellow color compared to the kind you get from the store. So it's very rare that we use store-bought eggs anymore, just because we have our, like I said, our own chickens. We have 4. So we don't get a ton of eggs, but enough to sustain my hobby here. So we got little bubbles here going on with our milk. So I'm going to go ahead and temper the egg yolk mixture. Basically what that means is we're gonna pour a little bit of the milk at a time so that we don't overcook our egg yolks and turn into scrambled eggs. I'm going to put a little towel here because I tend to spill the milk sometimes. So actually on this side. All right. So we're gonna pour just a little bit of time, and we're only gonna pour about half of the milk, and then we're gonna pour everything back into the pot. Afterwards, so you gotta work pretty quickly, otherwise you will end up with scrambled eggs. I'm also going to turn the burner down to low, very low heat, so that when I come back with my milk and egg yolk mixture now, I'm going to thicken this up into actual pastry cream, but not burn it. So as you can see, I've got a nice mixture here with the milk and the egg yolks. I don't have any chunks. I'm going to put my milk back there. And now I'm going to put all of this egg yolk mixture back into here. And we are going to cook this on low heat until it thickens. It doesn't take very long, so you cannot leave during this portion. You have to stir basically the entire time. Once you see the mixture thickening, it's only about a minute by the time it's done. Otherwise you run the risk of burning your pastry cream. So I'm at very, very low heat now. And I'm just gonna stir this entire time. Make sure that you're not stirring just in the center, you're getting into the edges too, because that's where it's going to start thickening up and it's going to burn on the edges. Once this pastry cream has thickened, I am going to watch for boiling. Once I see 1 or 2 boiling bubbles, I'm going to cook this for about 45 seconds, maybe a minute more. I'll actually turn off my stove at that point too, because like I said, my stove is a little wonky and I don't want to burn this beautiful cream. So as you can see, it's thickening. I'm gonna pause for just a second and see if I see any bubbles. You can see that it's moving. And turn this off. And I'm going to keep stirring for about 45 seconds to a minute at the most as it thickens. So this is basically a base for any pastry cream that you want to make. You can flavor it with so many things. If you have other flavors of chocolate. I purchase a lot of chocolate from expensive chocolate shops. So I use mostly Calavo or Valrhona. They have things like strawberry, passion fruit, whatever you want. You can do some other flavorings with this. Very, very versatile. Okay, so we are ready. I'm going to completely pull this off the heat. As you can see, I don't have any lumps in here. It's really nice and smooth. I'm going to add my butter to this, stir just a little bit, and then I'm going to add my chocolate to this as well. And we will whisk this until it all kind of comes into one nice mass. But then we're going to go one step further and we're going to emulsify this with an immersion blender. When you are having mixtures like butter and things like pastry cream that they don't really want to come together, you have to emulsify them. Otherwise, you're not going to properly mix this together. If you don't have an immersion blender, that's okay. You can use a handheld mixer and it will do the job for you as well. I just really like my immersion blender. I don't get to use it very often. And note to self to probably use a bigger pot. So once the butter and the chocolate are melted, that's when we can go ahead and transfer this to a different container. You can do it in this pot as well, but we'll see. But basically you're looking for a very nice, smooth, silky mixture. I know everybody says this all the time in their cooking channels and shows, but seriously, I could eat this with a spoon. This is also what you would use in eclairs. You can use this in donuts, in any kind of choux pastry. It's so good. Put it on your toast in the morning. All right, so we're pretty much mixed in. I'm going to go ahead and I'm gonna mix it in here, actually. I'm gonna clean this up. I am making a bigger batch than you probably would make at home, only because I want to use it for many things, and that is why I'm making a big portion. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and just mix it right in here. If I had less, I would use this cup that comes typically with an immersion blender, or again, you could just put your handheld mixer right in there. Here's my little immersion blender. This has 2 settings. I'm just gonna go on the lowest setting, and I'm just gonna nicely mix it until it comes to a smooth and silky texture. When you are putting your immersion blender in, put it in an angle and then kind of tap the sides to the walls so that you don't have any air bubbles. If you hear an air bubble, just pull it out and repeat the process again. You'll hear like a really loud whining pitch. You don't really want any of that. All right. So as you can see, it's kind of lumpy right now, but it's going to be really, really thick, really smooth, silky, and that's what we're looking for. hopefully you can see the difference now with how smooth it looks. It's very, very shiny from the butter and the high quality chocolate. It is all together. You don't see any chunks of butter or separate chocolate. And this is just gorgeous. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to transfer some of this into a pastry bag, and we are going to fill some silicone molds. If you have some at home like that, the molds, I'll show you what they look like. That's good. If not, use what you have around the house. I have a decent amount of different tools. So this is what I'll be using. These are from Amazon. I think for like a 4-pack, it was like $15 or something. But I use these for all kinds of stuff, so I have them. So we're gonna put our pastry cream into this container, which I have prepped already with a pastry bag. And then we're going to fill these cavities here. This is quite a bit of pastry cream, but like I said, I'm gonna use about half of this, and then the other half I will save and we'll use it for something else. I don't know what yet, but if you guys have any ideas that you want to see, we will definitely take them into consideration. We can fill our donuts with this. Okay, we're going to fill these cavities about 3/4 of the way full. And with pastry cream, you want to have it cool down pretty quickly. So this we will use tomorrow in our brioche buns, and we want these to be frozen. So I'm going to fill them, and then we are going to put them in the freezer until we need them tomorrow. The rest of the pastry cream I will put into a shallower bowl, cover with saran wrap, and put it in the fridge to cool down. You really want this to cool to use it for other things. Okay. Let some air bubbles out and kind of level it out. So this will go into the freezer until they're frozen solid, and we are ready to use them tomorrow in our chocolate brioche. So we'll see you guys in a little bit. Okay, so the last step for our chocolate brioche buns is going to be making a chocolate crumble. We are trying to have 3 components of the chocolate brioche buns. It's going to be the soft brioche dough, the creamy pastry cream that we made earlier, and then some crunchy crumble on the top. So this is a really quick mix. Once we mix it all together, it should look like sort of like sand. I'm gonna grab mine. So we're just going to put all the ingredients into the bowl and mix until it all comes together into a crumbly mixture. I have brown sugar there. This is going to be cake flour again, cocoa powder, butter. Lastly, you ideally want to put some cocoa nibs in there. I did not have any cocoa nibs, so I'm going to be just putting some, they're basically like a caramel shards. I'll have to write down exactly what it is, but it's gonna give it a nice crunch. We're just gonna put this all together and mix it. The butter should be cold, not room temperature, but not hard where it's not gonna mix in together. I'm just gonna watch it until it's all done being mixed. And then we're going to put it into a container and put it in the fridge until we are ready to bake tomorrow. So I'm just gonna check it real quick. I'm just taking the butter pieces and kind of smooshing them around a little bit more. And then I'll let the paddle attachment do its thing. But we're almost there. So the crumble is just about there. You don't want to go much further than this, or you're going to end up with basically a dough. So I'm just going to go ahead and stop it, and I'll work the rest of it again. Stop them right here. So our crumble is ready. You can see that it kind of looks like what you would put on that dirt cake that you used to make when you were kids. So here we go. If there's any bigger pieces, just break them up. But we're gonna put this in the fridge, let the butter firm up, and tomorrow we're going to put this on our brioche buns. So there we are, just gonna put it in the fridge until tomorrow.